If you're a young woman and you don't understand investing yet, this might be the episode that changes your entire financial future. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Pink Millionaire Mindset, the podcast where we talk all things money, career, and building a life you absolutely love. I'm your host, Ash. And I'm Sarah.
So happy to be here.
And today we are tackling a huge topic, a really, really important one. We're talking about investing, and specifically why every single girl and woman listening, yes, you, needs to start thinking about it like yesterday.
This isn't just a nice to have skill. We're going to argue today that it's an essential life skill, as important as, learning how to cook a decent meal.
Totally. Or learning how to drive. It's about freedom. It's about options. So let's just get right into it. Sarah, what do you think is the number one reason women kind of shy away from this whole world of finance?
Oh gosh, it's so layered, isn't it? I think from the time we're little girls, we're just not socialized to think about it. It's seen as a man's job or something that's, from math geniuses.
Right. It's this boys' club vibe. You think of Wall Street, you think of men in suits yelling at each other. You don't see a lot of people who look like us in that picture, and that messaging is powerful. It's so powerful, and we're taught to be good savers. Put your money in a savings account, be responsible, which is good, but it's not enough. Saving is not the same as investing. Your savings account is losing money to inflation every single year.
Say it louder for the people in the back. It's so true. Playing it safe is actually the riskiest move of all in the long run. And this is the crazy part. We have some systemic disadvantages we have to overcome.
Right. Like, let's talk about the big ones. The gender pay gap is still very real. On average, we make less than men for the same work. Fact? We often take more career breaks, to have kids or care for family members, which impacts our lifetime earnings and our retirement contributions. Also a fact. And we tend to live longer than men, so we have a smaller pile of money that needs to last for a longer period of time. When you actually think about it, it's kind of terrifying. It is. It's infuriating. But, and this is the whole point of today's episode, investing is our superpower to fight back against all of that. It's how we close our own personal wealth gap. It's how we take control of our future. Exactly. It's not about being greedy or obsessed with money. It's about having choices. The choice to leave a job you hate. The choice to leave a relationship that's not serving you. The choice to travel, to start a business, to retire without being worried. A courage fund. I love that. That's exactly what it is. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about building a foundation of financial stability
That gives you the power to make choices based on your happiness, not just your economic needs. My story's a little different. I was a total mess with my finances in my early 20s. Credit card debt, no savings, the whole stereotype. And what scared me into getting my act together was watching my own mom struggle after my parents' divorce. She was a super smart, capable woman, but my dad had always handled the money, and she was lost. It took her years to get on her feet, and I just thought, that will not be me. I will never feel that vulnerable. That was my wake-up call to learn this stuff.
And those aren't abstract concepts. I can think of a real example from my own life. A few years ago, I was in a job that was just draining my soul. It was fine, it paid the bills, but I knew it wasn't my passion. And the only reason I had the courage to quit and take a lower paying bridge job to figure out my next move was because I had been investing a little bit every month for years. It wasn't a huge amount, but it was a safety net. It was my courage fund.
Oh yeah, the jargon it's a real barrier, It feels intentional to keep people out. They talk about bulls and bears and puts and calls, and it's like, what language are you even speaking?
Totally designed to intimidate. But here's the secret the finance bros don't want you to know. You don't need to know any of that to be a successful investor. Honestly.
You really don't. You can be incredibly successful just understanding one or two simple concepts. We are huge fans of boring investing. We want the slow, steady, proven method, not the risky, sexy, pick the next big stock nonsense.
Yes, let's get boring investing t shirts made. Okay, what's roadblock number two? For me, it's the classic I don't have enough money to start,
This is a big one. People have this image in their head that you need like $10,000 to even call a stockbroker.
which was maybe 30 years ago, but the world has changed. Technology has changed everything. You can literally, and I am not exaggerating, start investing with $1 or $5.
Through things called fractional shares. You don't have to buy one whole giant expensive share of a company. You can buy a tiny little piece of it. It's amazing.
It's about building the habit. If you can find $20 a month or $50 a month, you can be an investor. It is far more important to start early with a small amount than to wait until you have a large enough amount.
That's the key right there. Time is your most valuable asset, more valuable than the amount of money.
Okay, and the third big fear is it's too risky. I could lose all my money.
And that's a valid fear, you know? We see the headlines when the market crashes. It's scary.
It is, but again, it goes back to how you're investing. If you put all your money into one trendy crypto coin, yeah, that's incredibly risky. That's gambling.
Right. But if you invest in a broad, diversified way, which we'll talk about in a second, the risk over the long term is managed. Historically, the stock market has always gone up over any 10-year period. Always. It has dips, it has crashes, but the overall trend is up.
You just have to have the stomach to ride out the downturns and not panic sell. And believe it or not, studies show women are actually better investors than men.
They are, because we're not as emotional with it. Men tend to trade more, to react to the news, to think they can outsmart the market. Women are more likely to just buy and hold for the long term.
The boring method.
The boring method wins. We're naturally suited for this.
I love that. We have a biological advantage. Okay, so we've busted the myths. It's not too complicated, you don't need a lot of money, and the risk can be managed. So, what does someone actually do, like right now after they finish this podcast? What is the very first step? Okay, step one, before you even invest.
Just a single penny, you need a place to do it. You need to open an investment account. This is also called a brokerage account.
And where can people do that?
So many places. There are the big established companies like Vanguard, Fidelity, or Charles Schwab. They're fantastic. Or there are newer app based platforms. Some are called robo advisors like Betterment or Wealthfront, where they kind of do the work for you.
There's also Ellevest, which is specifically designed by women for women. I love their mission.
Yes, the point is just pick one. Don't get analysis paralysis. It takes maybe 15 minutes to open an account online. That's it. That is your only homework for today. Just open the account. You don't even have to fund it yet. Just cross that first barrier.
I love that. It's such a low pressure first step. Okay, so once the account is open and they're ready to put in that first 20 or 50 or $100, what do they buy?
This is where boring investing shines. For 99% of people listening, the best place to start is with a low cost, broad market index fund or an ETF.
Okay, you used jargon. Break it down. Index fund, ETF. What are they?
You're right, I did. Okay, so instead of trying to pick one winning company, like trying to guess if Apple is going to do better than Google, an index fund is like a basket that holds tiny pieces of lots of different companies all at once.
So you're diversified.
Instantly. The most famous one tracks the S&P 500. That means when you buy one share of that fund, you own a tiny little slice of the 500 biggest companies in the US. Some will do great, some will do okay, some might do poorly, but overall, you're betting on the entire American economy to grow over time.
Which historically has been a very, very good bet.
The best bet. An ETF just stands for Exchange Traded Fund. For our purposes, it's basically the same thing as an index fund. It's just a modern, easy way to buy that basket of stocks. So you could look for an S&P 500 ETF, put your money there, and just leave it alone. Yes, set it and forget it because then you remove the emotion. You're not trying to time the market, you're just consistently buying month after month.
Month, year after year. Can we just double click on why this boring method is so powerful? Because it feels counterintuitive. We're taught to look for the next big thing, the hot stock tip. And this is where the magic happens. Can we please talk about compound interest? Because I feel like it should be taught in first grade. It is the most powerful force in the universe.
Absolutely. It's because trying to beat the market is a losing game for almost everyone, including the so called experts. Study after study shows that the vast majority of active fund managers fail to outperform a simple, boring index fund over the long run. They get paid millions to pick stocks and they still can't beat the average. It really is. The simple version is it's when your money starts making its own money.
So, by trying to be clever and pick individual stocks, you're not only likely to underperform the market, you're also paying higher fees for the privilege. Those active fund managers take a bigger cut. It's like paying more for a worse result. The boring index fund has super low fees, so more of your money stays in your pocket working for you. Yeah, you invest, say, $100. It earns some interest or growth, so now you have $108. The next year, you're not just earning interest on your original 100, you're earning it on the whole 108.
And it starts slow. It feels like nothing is happening for the first few years, but then it just starts to snowball. The curve gets steeper and steeper. It's why starting early is so critical. A 20-year-old who invests $100 a month has a massive advantage over a 40-year-old who invests $500 a month.
Because of time. The 20-year-old has 20 extra years for her money to make baby money and for that baby money to grow up and make its own baby money.
It's an exponential curve, and the longer you're on it, the more powerful it is. So, if you're listening and you're in your teens or 20s, please just start with something, anything. Your future self will build a statue in your honor.
Stick to the plan. Boring is best. Okay, that was an important detour, but I think we've covered the big pitfalls. Now, let's do a quick recap for everyone who's ready to get started. And before we recap, I think we should quickly cover a few common mistakes to avoid, because it's one thing to start, but it's another to keep going when things get weird, right? You have to build the right mindset to go along with the strategy.
Okay, recap. Number one, investing is not optional for women. It's essential for building wealth, gaining independence, and securing your future.
That's such a good point. The biggest mistake by far is letting your emotions take over. You see the market dip, all the news headlines are screaming crash, and your gut instinct is to panic and sell everything to stop the bleeding. But that's almost always the worst thing you can do. You lock in your losses, and then you're on the sidelines when the market eventually recovers, missing out on the rebound. Number two, the fears holding you back are mostly myths. It's not too complicated. You don't need a lot of money, and you can manage the risk by investing smartly for the long term. Exactly. That panic selling is the number one destroyer of wealth. You have to go into this with the mindset that the market will go down sometimes. It's a normal part of the cycle. When I see a market dip now, I actually get a little excited. I think of it as a sale. I'm buying all my favorite index funds at a discount. You have to reframe it in your mind. Don't check your portfolio every day. It will just make you anxious. This is a long-term game.
Number three, your first step is simple. Just open a brokerage account. That's it. Pick a reputable company and get it done in the next 24 hours.
Another mistake is getting FOMO, fear of missing out. You hear a friend made a killing on some meme stock or crypto, and you suddenly feel like your boring S&P 500 fund is lame, though you ditch your plan and chase the shiny object. That's pure speculation, not investing. For every one person who gets lucky, thousands lose money chasing those hot tips. And number four, when you're ready, start with a simple, low-cost index fund or ETF. Set up automatic investments and let the magic of compound interest do the heavy lifting.
Lifting for you. Boring is beautiful. I feel so fired up right now. This is the stuff that can genuinely change the trajectory of a woman's life.
Me too. It is the ultimate act of self care. It's telling yourself, I am worthy of a secure and abundant future, and I'm going to build it for myself.
Yes, 100%.
All right, that is our time for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Pink Millionaire Mindset. If this episode helped you, please consider sharing it with one other woman in your life who needs to hear it. A sister, a friend, a daughter. Yeah, let's spread this knowledge. You can find us on Instagram at Pink Millionaire Mindset. We'd love to hear if you opened your account. Yes, slide into our DMs with your investing wins. We'll be back next week with another episode to help you build your empire. Until then, take charge of your finances and own your future. Bye, everyone. Bye.